Discipline is hard. Every single month, there are moments that I want to spend money that I should not spend. And there are moments where progress feels slow and sacrifice feels heavy. And that daily battle is why I think most people never become financially disciplined. So today, I'm pulling back the curtains. I'm going to show you exactly how I stay disciplined with my money every single month. My morning routine, my weekly money habits, and the faith practices that keep me grounded when motivation runs out. Because motivation is temporary. Discipline is what carries you when the feeling is gone. Let me start by saying something that I really mean. I am not naturally disciplined with my money. This did not come easy to me. At 18, I had zero financial discipline, no budget, no plan, and no intentionality whatsoever. And those bad habits don't just disappear overnight because you decide to change. Discipline is something that I have to choose every single day. Some days it's easy and some days it's a fight. There are still moments when I see something that I want, but I have to remind myself of the bigger picture. Moments when I'm tired and don't feel like doing my budget review. And moments when the gap between where I am right now and where I want to be feel discouraging. What keeps me going in those moments is not motivation. Motivation is an emotion. It comes and goes. What keeps me going is a system, a routine, and a faith that reminds me why I'm doing this in the first place. In 1 Corinthians 9:24, it says, "Don't you realize that in a race everyone runs, but only one person gets the prize? So run to win." That verse lives in me. I'm running to win, and winning requires showing up even on the days that you don't feel like it. Let me show you exactly how I do that. The first pillar of my financial discipline is how I start my day. I believe that how you start your morning sets the tone for every decision you make throughout the day. And financial decisions are no different. Here's what my morning looks like. First, I start with prayer and scripture. Before I look at my phone, before I check my bank account, and before I think about work, money, or anything else, I spend time with God. I ask for wisdom. I ask for contentment. And I ask for the discipline to be faithful with what I've been given. Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 and 6 say, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not depend on your own understanding. Seek his will in all you do, and he will show you which path to take." That includes the financial path. Starting my day anchored in that truth keeps money in its proper place, as a tool, not a master. Second, I do a quick financial temperature check. Not obsessively, just a quick 1-minute glance at my accounts and spending from the day before. Am I on track with my budgets? Did anything unexpected come through? It takes 60 seconds, and it keeps me from drifting without realizing it. Third, I remind myself of my why. I have my financial goals written down, and every morning I read them. Not because I need to be pumped up, but because purpose is what sustains discipline when feelings don't. When I remember that I'm building something for my future, my family, and the ability to be generous, saying no to the wrong things becomes a lot easier. The second pillar is my weekly money check-in. This one is non-negotiable for me. Once a week, I sit down with my budget and review the week. Here's exactly what I do. Step 1, I check my spending categories. How much did I budget for dining this week? How much did I actually spend? Where am I running over? And where do I have margin left? This is where most people fall off. They build a budget at the beginning of the month and never look at it again. And then they wonder why they overspent. A budget is not a one-time event. It's a living document. Step 2. I adjust for the week ahead. Is there anything this week that I need to plan for? A birthday or a dinner, a car expense, or an irregular bill? I get ahead of it before it becomes a problem. This whole process only takes 20 to 30 minutes. And it is the single habit that has done more for my financial discipline than anything else. Proverbs 27:23 says, "Know the state of your flocks and put your heart into caring for the herds." In other words, know what you have, pay attention to it, be intentional about it. That's stewardship, and that's exactly what a weekly check-in is. The third pillar is the one that holds everything else together: my faith practices. And I want to be careful here because I'm not saying that faith is a financial strategy. I'm saying that faith is what keeps me grounded when the strategy gets hard. Here's what that looks like practically. First, I tithe consistently. Every single month, before I pay any bills, I give. This is not a negotiable line in my budget. It's the first thing that gets assigned. And I can tell you from personal experience, tithing has never made me poorer. It has made me more intentional, more grateful, and more trusting that God is the source of everything that I have. Second, I pray over my finances specifically. Not vague prayers, specific ones. God, help me be disciplined this week. God, show me where I'm being wasteful. God, give me contentment with what I have while I work to get more. Specific prayers get specific results. Third, I stay connected to community. Accountability is a gift. Having people in my life who know my financial goals and ask me about them has kept me honest more times than I can count. Proverbs 27:17 says, "As iron sharpens iron, a friend sharpens a friend." Financial discipline is not a solo sport. Fourth, I practice gratitude. Every month when I sit down with my budget, I take a moment to genuinely be thankful. Gratitude kills discontentment, and being discontent is the biggest killer of financial discipline. When you're grateful for what you have, you stop feeling pressure to spend money on things that you don't need to impress people that don't really care about you. I want to leave you with this. Discipline is not a personality trait that you either have or you don't have. It's a practice. It's a muscle. And just like any muscle, it gets stronger every time you use it. Start your mornings with intention. Check your money weekly. And anchor your finances in your faith and in your purpose. You're going to have weeks where you fall short. I still do. That's not failure. That's being a human. What matters is that you get back to the plan. You come back to the budget. And you don't let one bad week become a bad month. This is a long game. And I promise you, the discipline that you build today will create the freedom that you want tomorrow. That's what this channel is all about. Building wealth with purpose. Not perfectly, but faithfully. And if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe for weekly financial videos.